messages in my head. I don't know how to cope with this. I'm keeping secrets in my head. Or any space you can find. Glad to see that I could help make your life a bit easier. But have you ever thought of how I felt? You need to think about your behavior.
Yes, we are. 6:54. We're definitely over the hump here. And yes, you are listening to another edition of Butch On Sports. Simply Butch is here, and as always, thanks for tuning in. Yes, boys and girls, thanks for tuning in this edition of Butch On Sports. Being over the hump day was very, very busy indeed. Let's have at it and get you some news you can't get enough of. The Chicago Cubs today have acquired the Detroit Tigers' Nicholas Castellanos, who's hitting .273, 11 home runs, 37 RBIs this season. His best came in 2017 when he hit 26 home runs, drove in 101 runs, and hit a nice little .272 average. However, Detroit got some dividends back for him. The Tigers, they have acquired right-handed pitcher Paul Richan and Alex Lange from the Chicago Cubs in exchange for Castellanos there, and also some cash consideration toward Castellanos. The Detroit Tigers will probably chip in and divvy on paying the rest of his salary for this season. I tell you, Richan is 22 years old. He stands 6'2", 200 pounds. He's rated 16th best prospect for the Chicago Cubs organization. It's pretty high on the potato list there, where there's many individuals and many minor leagues in the system of players they have, of youth, that is. Lange is 23 years old. He's 6'3", 197 pounds. He's ranked 23rd best prospect for the Cubs. So the Detroit Tigers got two pitchers from the Chicago Cubs for the use of Castellanos, who is 27 years old. And again, he's appeared in 27 games this year. No, not 27. He's 27 years old. He's appeared in 100 games. And we gave you his stats earlier there for him. Chicago Cubs should be getting someone who can complement, if not be inserted in the starting lineup per se, in the near future. And why not today, once he takes his physical and all with their parent club. Tigers also announced that they have acquired Wentz and outfielder Travis Demeritte from the Atlanta Braves in exchange for Shane Greene. And I called it very much so on the game and also last week. Those two will be most likely be gone. Wentz is 21 years old. He's 6'5", 210 pounds. He's rated 7th best prospect for the Braves organization, according to the Major League Baseball pipeline. Demeritte, 24 years old, is ranked 24th best prospect for the Braves organization. He has appeared in 96 games with AAA Granite this season. He's hitting .286, 28 home runs, 2 triples, 20 home runs. He's pretty doggone good. And so you can bet your boots that he'll be called up sooner than later, if not be in the lineup in the very near future, like tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but maybe Friday. The Chicago Tigers got a day off. and make contributions or see how he's going to be. They do need some players that need some hitters on the team that need some also enthusiasm, because the ones who did not have too much of it, maybe Castellanos, who early this year said he wanted to be traded, and recently made comments on the ballpark at Comerica Park, which a lot of it is very much so true. So he got his wish. I wish him well in his endeavors. Nice guy too, by the way. Never trouble in the locker room. Always gave you his attention when able to do so. Shane Greene, on the other hand, another great person to be around in the locker room. He's very cooperative. Gave you his attention when needed. He leads on being one of the elite closers, not only for the Detroit Tigers, but in the league this year. He was in the All-Star game. His record is 0-2, but those are circumstances in the position he was put in. However, he got a 1.18 ERA, 22 saves, and 38 appearances with the Detroit Tigers this season. 25 of those appearances were save opportunities where he cashed in on 22 of them. Atlanta fixing their bullpen on for the cash run, their first-place team going to the playoffs. Did their organization, such as what the Tigers are doing right now, only they bloomed a lot quicker than the Tigers have right now as far as having young prospects come on in, building a team, and getting some enthusiasm back into the organization, not buying off players like all his slop. I did mention that Matt Boyd stated, not only to management but to all of us, that he, if it could be prevented, did not want to be traded, wanted to be here for the long haul of the rebuild job that the Detroit Tigers are giving or in progress with. So those two things right then and there, maybe they had some say on it. I'm quite sure he was dealt, but maybe, and I'm quite sure that the Detroit Tigers asked for some high hopes for Matt Boyd. Big winner as of right now, looking at the draft and the trades. Zach Greinke gone from Arizona, going to Houston. Boy, their pitching staff get better and better. And they are now in contention to win the World Series. Looking at their lineup, again, the proof of the pudding's in the taste. We'll see if that come to fruition in the days ahead of Major League Baseball. Cleveland and Cincinnati and San Diego really got the ball rolling Tuesday night when their starting pitcher Trevor Bauer, he headed to the Reds from Cleveland Indians. Yasiel Puig, he went from Cincinnati to Cleveland. Then there was some other pieces in the play there. Tyler Tramble, he was traded, he was let go, and I went to Arizona, not Arizona per se, but to San Diego. But those are some of the pieces were in place. San Diego trying to get younger, vibrant talent. Cleveland, you know, is in the playoff running. Matter of fact, first place wild card position. And of course, the other team I did mention was the Cincinnati Reds. They're in the middle of things, becoming very much so credible, as they're, I would say, a year away from giving many teams a lot of trouble, which they're doing pretty doggone well this year. They've probably been in about 80% of their games this year. Detroit Tigers, on the other hand, didn't know how to keep a run. And I'm watching in the bottom of the ninth inning right now. California Angels are rallying with 2 outs. Detroit Tigers lead 9-1. Jimenez is in there for Detroit to clean it up. This is not a save opportunity, but he's in there right now with 2 outs. Let's see if he can kind of clean up, because he got men on third and second base right now for the Los Angeles Angels, although, again, Detroit has a significant lead of 9-1. How about let's move on, boys and girls. Detroit Lions completed their 6th day of practice today at the team's headquarters and practice facility in Allen Park, Michigan. The Lions announced that they have signed free agent defensive tackle Frederick Jones and they released wide receiver Brandon Riley. Jones come to Detroit after spending the offseason program with the New York Jets, who signed him as an undrafted free agent out of Florida State. Following the 2019 NFL draft, he appeared in 46 games. For the Seminoles, he posted a nice little career of 67 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and 8 tackles for losses there. That's what's happening there today for Detroit Lions. Nothing other than that, as they kind of grinning and bear with it. They're doing more or less situational practices today. Situational practices will include third down possibilities, second down and long possibilities, situations, and which are quite boring indeed. Again, you're doing some slight hitting with all the players, again, are in pads. But you're not being reckless, against somebody else, which they'll have to do all next week because the New England Patriots will be in town to share practices all week long until they play on Friday at Ford Field. Of course, Ford Field got something happening this weekend. On Friday night is Family Fest night at Ford Field. That means the Detroit Lions are going to don their practices at Ford Field for anybody to come on in and take a gondola of it. It is free. All you have to do is pay for parking, and you got it all made, and buy some refreshments and some snacks. Get lucky enough to be able to get in certain places in the stadium where the Lions will come up and autograph and take pictures, and it's just getting to know the crowd who pays the money to see the Lions, or the crowd that will not buy a ticket for various reasons, watch them on TV. But again, just a way to get out with the family and say, here they go, boys and girls, our Detroit Lions. And maybe have some fruitful conversation, like, how many games they've won, or how many playoffs they have taken part in. Something, something positive here, The family outings, yes. Speaking of family outings there, the Gold Jacket ceremony will be Friday. Yes, Friday, at the Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio there. The celebrities or celebrants will be receiving their Gold Jackets on Friday night. Of course, they will be enshrined in the enshrinement ceremony on August the 3rd, 7 p.m. The class of 2019 Football Hall of Fame features Champ Bailey, Pat Bowlen, Gil Brandt, Tony Gonzalez, Ty Law, Kevin Maui, Ed Reed, and Johnny Robinson. There's a lineup for you, boys and girls. So you got your weekend full Friday night. You don't go nowhere. You can watch TV and eat food and stuff. And I don't know. Hey, enjoy yourself, I would say that. Sad news to give you tonight as Nick Bonacani, a member of the Football Hall of Fame class of 2001, has passed away. He was 78 years old. Bonacani struggled with dementia for years and has been part of the Pro Football League's veteran choirs in getting better coverage for insurances and other needs of the pension. He's been admitted to hospice for quite some time at this particular facility in outside Palm Beach, Florida. One of the local newspapers called the Palm Beach Post has reported that. Bonacani was born in Springfield, Massachusetts. He was 13th round draft pick of the Boston Patriots at the time, now the New England Patriots. He came out of Notre Dame University, stellar athlete indeed. He started playing football pro-wise in 1962. However, his big contribution came when he became a Dolphin, playing defense and winning 2 Super Bowls. Oh yeah, 2 Super Bowls before he retired at 36 years old. Of course, he is a member of the Hall of Fame, and he was on that undefeated team of 2072. Not 2072, 1972. 1972. Got that right there. Yes, I wrote the script tonight. Another typo. However, Bonacani dead at the age of 78 years old. He is going to be missed by the veterans and also fans who you get a chance, go to YouTube, one of those phases of getting some information about a particular, Wikipedia is another, and learn about Nick Bonacani. Great lineman in his days with the Miami Dolphins. He really shined there. He also shined for the Boston Patriots during their early days of the AFL. Nick Bonacani. Little thing to say about Detroit high schools, their athletic association, which right now is a formal vacation of all athletes getting the summer in, because less than a week and a half away from actual practices that these young men and women will be coming back to fall school and have at it with sports of all kinds. The fall edition in place where football and volleyball will reign supreme during this particular, I'm talking about, girls and boys alike, as well as other sports, and indeed will mention those throughout various shows of Butch On Sports. Well, there was a participation survey that was passed out, according to the survey, the measure of the prevalent charge of students being charged to pay to play, where back in the 60s and early 70s, you only have maybe, in truthfulness right now, around about 20% of these particular schools having athletes paying to play. And they were normally in the rural areas where, in Class D schools where they were small, budgets were smaller because of the amount of students you have, where the affordability of that's when the town all got together and had a couple pig roasts, weenie roasts, selling donuts, bake sales to finance their team, and got involved in team football, basketball, and other sports in those particular communities there, which was legal and still is to this day here. Over the 604 schools that responded to the 2018 survey, and there are more out there, by the way, but these are the ones that participated, 604. Exactly half of 302 assessed that the participation fee was in effect for those particular high schools the past year. The survey results is in line with those last 2 school years, which saw 49% of the schools charging participation fees for the 2016-17 season, and also the 2017 and 18 season. Participation fee, by the way, was anything about $20, where the school would call it a registration fee, insurance fee, or maybe a transportation fee, but the additional monies were raised by the participants in order to kind of strike out maybe some or all of those particular needs, and having a team field on the for play. MHSAA, get that right. They conducted the first one in 2003, 2004. Again, 24% of the schools responded, and there was big, those 24%. That was a huge number of schools that were charging fees to play. It didn't get up very high. Many admitted that they were taking care of the fees. But now, these days of ages of participation, the participants have to pay a fee. And some of those schools have some heck of a fundraisers too, for kids, or maybe to sign that cost off. Again, I named them bake fairs, out of school doodads, where the alumni get involved and have a party or something where they just throw in the kitty, money going to the proceeding athletic department of those particular schools in their neck of the woods. That's a big number. Hopefully that number can go down. As you know, most schools now are always crying that they don't have enough money. By the way, when you break down all the charges and fees, 79% of the respondents in Class A responded. Good amount. Class B and C schools, 48% of those schools are charging fees. Class D, they're in line about 35% of those particulars were charging for participation. And like I said, in the rural areas do it better than others, so they probably will have a lower percentage of people or teams getting involved, because they do it every year to subsidize the athletic department of the various teams in the high schools in their vicinity. So there you have it. So parents, beware, you're going to have to give up some cash if you're in the upper echelons, such as Class A, because they're coming. Those big schools, they're coming. Class A and C, 48%, over half of them doing it anyway. I'll let you know too, they're coming. That number's going to be higher. And again, the Class Ds, they should be going lower, because more and more, again, the rural areas get it better than others of having dances and other entities to raise money for the athletic funds of those particular high schools in the area. Doing their thing. I'm watching some film of the carting off Nicholas Castellanos in a golf cart after he was found out he was traded for. He's gone, boys and girls. Detroit Tigers, by the way, win today, 9-1. I'm just giving you that information. That's fresh on Over the Hump Day on Butch On Sports. FC Barcelona announced that their entire first team, including Lionel Messi, will be traveling with the club in the United States for the inaugural La Liga Series A Cup against Napoli. Messi will join Griezmann, Suarez, Calho, De Jong, and the rest of the star-studded cast for 2-game series against Napoli, August the 7th, at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida, or they call it now Miami Gardens in Florida, beautiful Florida. And also August the 10th at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. Of course, Michigan Stadium gets 100,000 plus seats. It should be pretty weird, as almost, they said when I called this afternoon, 90% of the tickets have been sold. So it's going to be a fat chance by next week that you can find a ticket, because those are going to probably sell out. Now they have the official notice that Messi will be in town to take on some good opponents. And soccer is rampant now here. There's right now soccer teams, just like football, which they are called officially football teams, are getting ready themselves for the upcoming soccer season. Premier League, Champions League, the Do-Wah-Diddy League, all of them ready to go around about September. They're all warming up all over the world. Sadness, we end the story with the Luke Van Mill. He was a 7'1" Dutch pitcher who spent a decade in the minor league. He died Sunday at the age of 34. The Dutch Baseball Authority and Softball Authority, they announced that Monday. He died from a fatal accident, but they wouldn't release any of the details about the death at the request of the family. He did have a pro career, rightly so. He was drafted by the Minnesota Twins in 2006. He made it into Double-A. He was traded to the Los Angeles Angels in 2010. He also spent time with the Cleveland Indians in 2012 and the Cincinnati Reds in 2013. After that, he went over in the Japanese League and had some success there in 2014. He was the tallest player, and he shared that right with another major league player. And we just found out there was two of them that were 7'1" in height. And I'm trying to look up the other one as we speak. Maybe I have it ready for you Sunday. Of the two, one of them are right now current in Major League Baseball. That's a challenge for you, ain't it, boys and girls? Big challenge, indeed. Again, recap. And it's a big recap, indeed. Detroit Tigers have did their thing. Nicholas Castellanos and also Shane Greene has gone to new respective teams. Greene going to Atlanta. Castellanos going to the Chicago Cubs. Detroit Tigers in return is get a slew of talent to pack up their minor league system, and maybe, just maybe a couple of those particulars, especially Demeritte from the Atlanta Braves, I do believe there, will come to the Tigers sooner than later. I'm quite sure. A lot of stuff going on in Major League Baseball. Check out Major League Baseball's website, and you can get it all, or what went on, or, I'm not the only caterer in town, Hey, check Butch On Sports out every Wednesday, as well as Sunday, boys and girls here. You can hear it on Butch On Sports on Facebook. You can also get a whiff of it on, yes indeed, you can get a whiff of it on Podomatic. You type in Butch On Sports when you get to the Podomatic page, or type in simplyButchoo.podomatic.com and take you straight to the page as well. You can also hear it on the Game Show Sports Show website, which we do a thing every Monday. Scott Nason, Dave McKay, E.J. Russell, including myself, all chipping in to make that one of the unique talk shows in the state of Michigan. Check it out when you get availability on ESPN 1400. Meanwhile, those are places you can hear me. And I'm going to say, y'all have a very, very good weekend. Stay out of trouble, boys and girls. And I guess let the camaraderie, a Democratic National Convention take place in Detroit. There's a lot of people down there, as I'm watching on the television here. Talk to you all this weekend. Have a great weekend, everyone. Be safe. Check you out on Sunday night.